Hey guys, I got a couple questions about um, what's my Elliott Wave strategy, how do I do it essentially, and you guys are just wondering basically the whole strategy. So a little bit of history on me. I trained Elliott Wave with Trade Devils. Um, I did that uh, probably about what did I say? I stopped probably about 4 months ago with them. I didn't complete it all the way through just because I didn't feel like I needed to. I went through all the information that they had. Probably at least, I went through at least 90% of their information and understood their concepts. I passed some of their exams to prove such. And then I just wanted to figure out other methods. So I came over here and checked out Vader's system and got in here. So yeah, their head sensei, he worked in Wall Street for many years. So on, he that's what he says, and he worked in the 90s and early 2000s. And back then, um, the algos would be very, very basic, and so he was trying to figure out a way that how he could read them. So he asked some of his coworkers and the leaders in the space at the time of what are their strategies. And remember, at this time, they're not going to be using AI, machine learning, and all the deep learning and all this other stuff. They'll just be using some of the basic like moving averages, support and resistance, consecutive candles, all this different stuff. And so he was asking how they do this, and they said that they use the Fibonacci sequence. They take the dominant low pivot, the dominant high pivot of a certain move. They begin to buy the 50 and defend through the 65. What do I mean by defend? It just means if an algo wants to go long, it continues to buy it buys at the 50 and it keeps buying all the way to 65, applying more and more bullish pressure to the market. If the 65 is broken, then they're stopped out. Um, so they buy the 50, they defend to the 65, and then what does that mean for the sell targets? Sell targets are the negative 23.6, the negative 61.8, and negative 100. Negative 23.6 is the most common because it can be in any wave since it's so short and so conservative a target. Obviously, the negative 100, you're not going to find that in every single wave, but something that's only 23% above the high, the previous high, isn't really that much. So that's the gist of it. These algos are market makers because they got big money behind them, and that's the whole strategy. They buy the 50 and defend and continue to add more and more, long pressure, you can call it, all the way through 65. If the market isn't weak enough, they'll be able to turn the market, or at least they'll be able to get on the right side of the market and be at the bottom of the move. That's the whole idea. Okay, so here I got an example of it before I show you some actual examples. So an elite wave, they trend to 5 and it corrects in threes. Um, wave 2 would be, you're looking for wave 2 between the 50 and 61.8. An elite wave, the most likely target is the 61.8 to 65, which is exactly why these algos are written like that, because they're based off elite wave. So we take swing high, swing low. Standard stuff. Here, let me take these off real quick. Take just take this one off. I'll leave the other ones on. Actually, no. Let's take right here. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, swing high, swing low. What are we looking? Elliott wave, we're looking for the 61.8 to 65. Here, with the algorithms, we're going to start buying at the 50 and continue to buy until the 65 is broken. 65 isn't broken, they start buying the 50 and it goes up. Okay, so um, I forgot to enable the target real quick. Okay, they buy at the 50, continue to buy all the way through 2 through 65. If the 65 is broken, um, then they sell. You know, they're stopped out. Now there is a couple cases when you get into the bigger macro coins. A lot of times they're to the tick with this stuff. The algorithms are literally to the tick, but every once in a while there will be a case you'll find that this price action here will go like that. It will just barely break the 65. Why is that? Because they want to trap them and stop them out. Simple as that. They want to grab everyone that's sitting right here with all those stops and stop them out. That way they're not holding them down and they just keep going. Um, so yeah, they stop them out and that's the basics of it. Negative 23.6 is your first target. Negative 61, uh, zero, yeah. Negative 61.8 is your second target, and negative 100 is your third target. Wave 3, you're expecting to go to 1.618 um, extension of wave 1, and a shorthand of that is negative 1. It's the same thing. If it's a 65, if it retraces to the 50, then it's going to be a little bit higher. So that's the gist of it. Now, for wave 4, it's the same standard ops for algo. Swing high, swing low. We're looking for the 50, start buying, and we're defending all the way to 65. Well, what happens? This is the most common setup that you will see. I guarantee you. So if the price comes down and it hits the 38, pivots and goes up, okay, well, the algo didn't add to their position here, but the algo's still in back here because it didn't break the 65. Remember, they bought here, goes up, comes down. They're still in it. They're in it until the 65 is broken or they hit one of the targets. So in this case, you know, they might have kept it a runner, a small runner, or they probably just sold it actually, to be honest. So price comes down. Price hits the 50. They begin to buy, and it pivots to the tech off the 50. Okay, so what are they targeting? Well, they're targeting negative 23.6 and then negative 61.8 as their first two targets. The most common for these algorithms is a negative 23.6, like I mentioned earlier. So this setup here, you'll see over and over and over. And if you see the posts I put up, I don't put up every chart, but I put up a decent amount of them. We're there literally to the tick. For swing high, swing low, 50, nail it to the tick of the target, and then reaction down. And I mean, it can keep going. If they're not going to sell right there, but they will start laddering themselves, you know, right here, and they'll just keep selling it up until 23.6, right around this range. If there's not enough bullish momentum to keep them in the market, they'll just sell it and let it roll over. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to add one thing. These algorithms go both ways. So in this case, I was showing you, this would be an algorithm going long, right? It takes swing high or swing low to swing high. You're buying 50, expecting the price to go higher. It can work just in reverse. So let me see here. I believe. Oh yeah, here we go. So Elliott wave. Let's see here. Here we go. So an Elliott wave, remember, trending fives, correcting in threes, trending fives, correcting in threes. So in this case, let's give you a case for the short algorithm. It takes this high to swing low. Where's it expecting it to go? Okay, so it starts buying at the 50, defends until 65. In this case, the algorithm is going short. Now, if you want to look at where the C is most likely going to go, this is how you do it. The algorithm price action comes down, goes up, algorithm starts buying the 50, defends through 65. First target is negative 23.6, just like if the algorithm is going long. Nothing changes. It's the same stuff over and over. And that's the gist of it. The negative 23.6 for a wave C is very, very common. The only thing that would be just as common, or maybe even a little bit more common, but usually it's 23.6 the most common, is the negative 100, which is the Elliott wave extension is where you look for wave C. But I always give priority to negative 23.6 since I see that everywhere, and I think it's the most common. It's in my experience, that's what it is. Um, so in this case, if I was trading with Elliott Wave, I'd be like, okay, negative 23.6, most conservative target here, and negative 100 is the most likely targeted. So I'll make a little hot box. Okay, let's get you guys a couple examples here. And I drew it up like this. And so you come to 6.5, you just go up. Let's see. Okay, here's a link to Tether. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Okay, standard ops here. Swing high to swing low. We're looking for algorithms. They begin by 50, defend at 65 until 65%, breaks 65, you're stopped out. In this case, the bullish volume started to pick up right around here, and the volume of people that wanted to go short and link just wasn't as strong. The sell side pressure wasn't as strong. So it turned before it's at 61.8, but that's all right because the algo starts buying to 50, remember? Okay, so the macro algo's in. Let's go in here to the micro, see what happens in here. So we get this original pivot right here. Now, these algos are on every time frame with basically every coin. They'll be moved in and out different coins because liquidity issues and which is more bullish or bearish depending on which one's more volatile essentially. Here's a micro example. Swing high, swing low. What happens? It comes down, tags the 50. You guys see that, right? Let me see here. You see this, right? To the tick. Goes up, fails. Well, why did it fail? Let's see if any short algos in here. Nope, broke the 50 or the 65. I mean, right here. So the short algo stopped out, and this guy, he probably would have gotten. No, he's still in actually. Never mind. But yeah, the short algo is broken. The long algo is still in because this 65 is now broken. Remember? Okay, so it comes down. Long algo buys. Nice reaction. Not enough bullish pressure, so it comes back down. Still bears ball. Comes down to 65, or the 50 to 65. They continue to buy. Look at that nice wick right there, and we get the nice reaction. Comes up, goes down. Just curious. I have to check this. Let's see if there's one right in here. Because remember, an Elliott wave, it's waves within waves. So they're on every time frame, almost every coin. Okay, here we go. Same thing. This would be a 1 2, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Goes up, comes down to buy the 50. So depending on what time frame these algos are on, they're on different ones, so they can all be different plays. Obviously, it buys this, and 2 and 3 are target, 2 and 3 are second target, 2 and 3 the third target, and they're just gonna let that thing ride until it starts to pull back. Let's see what happens here. So we got 1 2 1 2 1 2. The computer is really slowing down with this OBS software. Okay, goes up, swing high, swing low. So this micro, this probably would have been a trade on the 30 or 15 minute. So whatever algorithm is on that time frame would have gotten stopped if they're going long. But remember, these two algos are already in. So these algos let it ride, and it goes all the way up here. And now let's do the same thing. So we got 1 2. Get rid of stuff. Man, my computer's laggy right now. It just runs so hot with the stuff. Okay, 1 2 1 2. Okay, so We know this was wave 3, macro wave 4. We're looking for wave 5. Comes up, swing low, swing high. Al goes in. Al goes in here. Swing high, swing low. Al goes in of the micro. We know this guy got stopped out. Well, what happens? This guy bought 6.5. This guy bought 6.5. So they're both in profit. And so it goes up here, and you can dig out, a wave in there if you go lower time frame. Let's see, let's go 2 out here. Actually, you might not be able to in there, but anyways, we're talking about algorithms in here for this example. Okay, so same thing, standard ops. Swing low to swing high. Now, this case, you could probably make the case that it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going for the 5, or it'd be 1, 2, like 3, 4, 5, somewhere in here. In this case, I'd probably say this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 in there. You have to dig that out in probably the 5-10 minute. I'm going to go much lower than 5 minutes, to be honest. It gets pretty sketchy down there. Okay, so wave 4. We're looking, Elliott wave, we're looking for it to 38 to 50. This algorithm's looking at starting out to 50. Goes up, comes down, nails the 50 to the tick. Okay, so this long algorithm either sold here, which it probably did, and rebought in, or they're still in it. I would say that it probably sold, and then because they had a trailing stop, because it was through all their other targets, and was re-entering on the idea that it's going to retrace it to the tick. Okay, so that's the long algorithm. What's the short algorithm doing? Swing high, swing low, comes down, goes up, oh, stopped. Okay, let's try this again. What about this way? Nope, got stopped there. Go here. Okay, so this is, well, I just call this a fib fight, an algo fight, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you can make this a triangle, whatever floats your boat, really. But the reality is that all these algos bought, sold there, because, I mean, look at the reaction, and then it came back down. This algorithm would have been buying, rebuying back to the 50, and it goes up, and look what we get. So, yeah, I'm going to show you other examples. I mean, I could do a full video on Elliott wave and all that stuff, where I would just show these for days, to be quite honest. So, let me see here. Okay, so FET. I don't know how people like this. I mean, what is this? I mean, try to get a count on that, I dare you. You're not going to be able to really get a valid count on that. So anyways, we're in the macro here. If we can't get Elliott wave, what do? I look for pitchforks and Fibonacci, so, algorithms in this case. So we take swing low to swing high. What are we looking? I mean, all this chop, if you're trying to get a count on that, if you're trying to use moving averages, good luck. You're going to have to be in there scalping at really small time frames. I mean, these are pretty big moves, but I mean, if you want to find the bottoms, to get in at the bottom, this is the way to do it. And if you mix it in with Vader's moving averages and his strat, and you use them as confluence to this, then you're set. Okay, so you take it from swing low to swing high. So buying 50, defending 60 until 65. Look at the reaction. What reaction was this? Bet you this is probably like a 14. Okay, yeah, 15%. Nice reaction. So standard ops, come back in here. The macro L goes in. We know that. We know there's a macro. Oh, swing high, swing low, broke it. So this one is broken. If this 65 is broken here, then that is my first sign that the short side is actually stronger. So if it would have went up, came down, broke the 65, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4, 5 times. If this algo, the 65 broke 5 times, then that just, the shorts are knock on the door and have more pressure. So same thing. swing high, swing low. I mean, remember they got stopped out there, and there is no short algo in this view here, unless you want to go to a smaller time frame or find another example. Here on BitTorrent. Let's see, I know I made. I should label these better. I don't remember where it's at here. Let me see. Let's just do the same thing. Swing low, swing high. Nope, broke that. Okay, well that's not it. Let's see what this is. Swing low, swing high. Nope, broke that. Okay, we'll start counting for Ellie Wade to figure out 1, 2, 3. No, that's not 5. So 1, 2, 3. Correction, 1, 2, 3. So what I would do is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's good. 1, 2. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lead diag. So we got 1, 2, 3. We need a diag, so it goes to the 4. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is obviously they're looking for swing low, swing high. But when it comes to diags, remember, in a diagonal, that means it's going to be a deeper retracement. It's going to overlap wave 1, which means there's going to be less bullish pressure, less bullish volume. So it's going to come down. And it's most likely, in this case, to hit the 61.8. But instead of it being just of wave 3, it would be waves 1 through 3. Okay? And just because that, it's how it shakes out. And they get the target right here. So it comes down, they buy it, boom, and got through 2 and 3 the target. Let's see if there's any more examples real quick while we're in here. Standard ops, swing low, swing high. Oh boy, look at that. Almost 2 the tick. Above 50, go, 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 go. And they get first target, they get second target, and they get third target, and they probably would have gone fourth target. My fourth target, I leave at the 1618. Same thing. Actually, nope, this has been completed, so I can't do that. Swing low, swing high. In this case, the next buy-in hasn't started yet. You could, do it, get an early wave count on here. 1, 2, 3, 1. It would be 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABs. So this one, I mean, you could look at the 65s and 618 seems most likely at this point. I mean, I can figure out based off of the micro, but that's where I'm sitting right now for that. Another example over here on ONT. Let's see here. Believe it was right here. Swing low, swing high. Yep, look at that. So I took this. This is the low, duh. And at the time, this was swing high. So swing low, swing high, comes out, rips. There is no reaction at the 23.6, so the 23 is, or the 38 is most likely going to be broken. What happens? It's actually broken, and we get a little bit of reaction off of the 38. Okay, so we get a reaction of the 38. What does that set up? Well, that means then I'm going to say it's going to be more likely to stop and pivot at the 50. It actually blows through the 50 and comes down and hits the 618 to the tick. Literally to the tick. Now it comes off. We get 3 waves off. Clearly, we cannot trend in 3 unless it's a diag. In this case, that doesn't what it looks like just based off of this because you get 3, 3, and yeah. So that's why I call it WXY. So it comes down, nails the 61.8, goes up, fails to get up there. Is there a short algorithm in play here? Nope. So there is no short algorithm at this point in time. So it goes up, falls because it doesn't have enough bullish pressure, hits the 65 to the tick again, or 61.8 I mean, to the tick again, goes up, and they don't reach the target. So they would have got stopped out from their, if they had a stop loss trailing or what have you. And 65 is still holding back here. This looks like be a good example of a short algo. I posted about short algos a whole lot in the private group chat about Bitcoin and calling how Bitcoin is going to have this big pivot. As an example, short algo to target, and look at the reaction. Once their side pressure is off, the bulls start to come in. We see a little bit of movement, and they start buying in, and we're moving up. Okay, next example. Nulls. Here is nulls. The pump and dump coin that everyone seems to love. For some reason, I have no idea why. Okay, swing low. Let me see here. I think I had it set up. Okay, swing low, swing high. Boom. Where we go? We're going to the 50. Look at algo got filled to the tick of the 50. Goes up, guys. I mean, yeah, 2 tick of 50 goes up. Doesn't have nearly enough behind it, and starts to fall. To use the buy, which is why we get our chop. Falls, falls. 65 is broken. Now this is a perfect example of when either you have an algorithm that purposely allows this, and they have their stop loss now set at 67% or whatever, just to stop people out, or the algorithm just got stopped out, and we actually have some volume coming behind this, not from an algorithm. So yeah, you gotta be careful when those break. That's why I always set mine just behind the 65. I don't put it directly to the tick behind it, because you can get in some real trouble if you get stopped out sometimes. Okay, Litecoin. You guys might have been hearing me preach about Litecoin and how it's been to the tick with algos, which it has been literally the entire way, long and short. Okay, swing high, swing low. What do we get? Holy crap! To the tick of where we want to go. And look at that. Look at the reaction. Swing low, swing high. Starts to buy the 50. Look, to the tick of the 50. Goes up, doesn't have enough. Comes down. Keeps buying. As soon as it's the 50. We get a little bit of chop. Falls through. Everyone thinks it's going to fall through. Nope, the algo is sitting there in the golden pocket. Starts to buy again. And look at that rip. Rip up. I bet you could go in here and find. Bet you that's a 50 tag right there. Swing low, swing high. I mean, guys, do you need any more? I mean, swing low, swing high to the 61.8. Go up to 23. Look at the reaction to 23. It goes up and it loses bullish pressure because the algorithm is already taking profits. Below 361. Hits the third target, and look, we top out. So not only did this micro guy, actually, there's another one in here. Nope, I got it stopped out. Okay, whatever. This micro algo, look, he got his first target, second target, and third target. This macro target, or this macro algo, sorry about that. Swing low, swing high, bought it, and well, that's just a great headline. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the macro algo, swing low, swing high, bought 65, looking for 23.6 as their first target. Look at the reaction. Look at the nice confluence between the micro and macro algo targets. They're almost on top of each other, and look what we get. Nice reaction. Okay, get this crap off. So when it comes to Elliott wave, we know it trains in 5, corrects in 3. This looks like a 5 wave to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Swing low, swing high. So remember, that's all algorithms are looking for. Comes down, reaction 50. Comes down, reaction 65. Not strong enough. Breaks the 65. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about. In these macro, or the larger cap coins, There's going to be these people that are purposely going to push it just beyond the 65. Because anyone that's trying to be too tight with their stops because they're put on too much risk or what have you are going to have that thing really tight right behind the 65, and they're going to get stopped out by a tick. In this case, that's what happens. Goes up, reaction at 23, reaction at the 61.8. I mean, 2 tick, literally. Oh, what's this? Basically 2 tick. I mean, I guarantee, and I could carry this all the way up. Literally, I mean, Litecoin, I've been trading this puppy. It's been to the tick all day long with algorithms. I mean, it's just a sea of them. I could, yeah, this one's gonna break, but let's see here. Do this again. Now remember, I'm doing this with Elliott Wave and these examples. It just looks like I'm probably just picking random pivots that aren't major pivots, but they're major pivots if you go through and count all these out in Elliott Wave. You don't have to do that. You just do swing high, swing low, and then follow it, or just use this confluence type of stuff. But I mean, this is an Elliott Wave trade here, which it would have been. It would have been 1 2 1 2 3 4 to tick or 3 8 to the tick of the first target. So be 1 2 3 4 going up 4 5. See, there's one in here. Swing low, swing high. I got to make this up too early looking because based off of that. There it is. Got filled. 2 and 3 target. So you do this on any coin, any time frame. I think. Oh, yep. What's today? 17. So 5 days ago, I had this trade back. I had setting up. What was it, the 10th? I would have called this out. I took a screenshot of it after, but I have a screenshot of it somewhere in my sea of screenshots. So back on the 10th, I made finding this out. I was going through my Elliott Wave count. Let's see here. It's on the 10th. Where did we get? 610. Let's search it. 613. How about that? Oh, here it is. 613 on the 1 hour. This. Okay, so here we are. So this is what the screenshot was. We got a macro wave forward. I have completing here. We get a 1 wave. Well, this isn't clear impulse, so what is it? It's a diag. So we got a diag for the lead bag. We get ABC clearly. We come up here. Well, does this look impulsive to you? I mean, what is that? That's not impulsive. That's corrective. Sorry to tell you that whoever wanted that at the time to be impulsive, but it wasn't. It's clearly not. Reason being because this waveform is so extended, and we get the chop of the for B and C is so short. At the time it's rolling over, if I see that wave 1 being so long, wave C being so short, and you're expecting this to be a 1 2 3 and rolling over, no, sorry, that's an ABC. So we get a 1 A B C for the 2. So I clearly identified back here. I have more stuff on defined confluence zones, but essentially we got the 1 2, and now I'm looking for whatever this was going to be at the time. I had no clue this was going to happen, but let's see what happens. So I'll go swing low, swing high. I mean, what else do you guys need to see? We're looking. We got a clear impulse. I mean, there is no other way around it. That's an impulse. I mean, it could be wave A or 1, but it's an impulse either way. We need an ABC coming down or some sort of zigzag or correction. So we get the wave 1, just as I would have seen it here. So I would have had only these 2 pivots. So swing low, swing high. Algorithm buying at the 50, defending the 65. Goes down, hits the 50, I mean to the tick, and then goes up. Look at the reaction. You get a little bit of reaction at 23.6. Duh, because it's taking some profit. Goes up to 61.8, take profit. Go to 100, takes profit. And I bet you I put on fourth target. This is a great example. This was one of the best trades I've taken. I mean, besides some of the BitTorrent ones, like for the BitTorrent, I caught move, this whole move here. I bought in. I think I did I buy in. I'd have to look, but I think I bought it right here. Just because, I mean, I'm hunting for algos. Swing low, swing high. What happens? Comes down. Get reaction 50, fails. Okay, well, it fails with 50. I'm expected to come back down to 50. Doesn't hold it. Goes to 65. Right here, see how the long algo got stopped? At that time, I would have immediately been thinking that the macro algo, A, stopped out, B, isn't that strong. You know, the sell side pressure is much stronger. I would have been looking for confluence at a micro level. Anyways, if for Elliott wave, this would be perfectly valid. Come down all the way to 786. You can go to 886 really. Anything beyond 886 for wave 2 is very unlikely. And you know, if you can down 886, I mean, you shouldn't even be in that coin. So it comes down, breaks 65, and it starts to come up. And I see that, and I'm like, well, wait a second. The macro algo got stopped out, and my micros seem to be getting stopped out. Okay, well then what's happening? Well, there must be actual bullish pressure that's not from a single algorithm. So it goes up, and I see this break. I see that break at 65, and I get in. I think it was right here, the break of new highs, 68, 68.94, around there. Probably would have been off this pair just in case. We'd be safe. And I would have been, in this case, since there is no macro, let me get this off. Since there is no macro algo at this point in time, I'll be purely off of pitchforks and Elliott wave. It goes up, and I would have caught the whole thing. So I would have been going all the way up. And I think I sold, I'm pretty sure, let's see, where was the negative 20? 127. Let me add this in. Because I sold, I think I sold most of mine. Yeah. I saw this reaction there. I was looking at this micro and it wasn't looking too hot. It wasn't very impulsive. Um, since I already knew we were in a leading diag at the time, because look at this ABC, leading diag. You see that as a, you know, some corrective, but you can't have something corrective unless BTT is going to zero. And plus, what are you correcting, right? So that was a leading diag. Come down, I'm looking for an ABC. I see the AB, 1, 2, and after I saw that third pivot in the C wave, I got out. I think I got out somewhere right around here. So, you know, 100%. What did I make? I should look that up. But, you know, it was right around 150%. It was a great trade. I mean, yeah, it was my best trade I've ever made. And I was looking for that. Algo got stopped out, but you know, we're still looking at 23.6. And so yeah, I mean that's the gist of how to use this method. You know, the algorithms just buying the 50, defends the 65, break the 65, stopped out, and got those three targets. That's basically it. Swing high, swing low, and that's what you're looking for in any single wave that you can find. Now, I highly suggest you understand Elliott wave. I mean, you don't have to, but Elliott wave really helps for identifying stuff because that's how these algorithms are going to find it. They use Elliott wave and all this other stuff, and all they want is swing low, and swing high, and then they buy at 50. It's simple as that. I could just go on and on and on about this, but you know, better cut the video here. Got any questions, just message me or whatever. I can show you more. I think I covered it all. There could have been more examples, but this video is going to be pretty long anyways, I expect. So, yeah.